Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Bullet Train, which I waited until it hit Netflix to be able to watch. So it's on Netflix right now with audio description. If you're like, where can I watch Bullet Train without having to pay out the ass? Well, if you have Netflix, there's your answer. Um, yeah, I'm a blind film critic, so that's what I do. I watch films with audio description, and then we talk about them. And if you're not blind, it's just a great chance for you to hear about accessibility, because honestly, the industry could give shits less about us. But I'm here to try to elevate the conversation, and that's why I need subscribers. So please click subscribe, because Hollywood doesn't care about a YouTuber with 89 subscribers. They might if I had a little bit more. And I might be able to do something about the shockingly low amount of audio description available for our community. But Bullet Train does have audio description. Really interestingly, I swear to God, I stayed all the way through the credits. I don't think it was ever listed. I was there. I don't think I blacked out. I, I never heard the stuff listed because it was a narrator's voice I didn't recognize. So I was really here for it. I was like, I want to find out who this narrator is, because it felt like a completely new voice to me, and I never got it. I made it all the way through the whole, Humane Society thing down at the end of the video, and nothing. I swear there was nothing in this video that told me who was the narrator. Very weird. But I have, in general, my thoughts on Bullet Train are weird. So Bullet Train is an action film, which kind of puts it a little bit at a disadvantage for our community. It's an action film directed by David Leitch, too. And I'm not 100% sure that his work can translate 100%, because he's the of the moment action director. He's the guy that everybody wants. He did John Wick, so now everybody wants him because he's a former stunt coordinator. So he really understands how to maneuver an action sequence. When he worked on John Wick with Keanu did a lot of his own hand-to-hand combat training. I don't know how much these guys do of their own stunt works. Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Joey King, Sandra Bullock. I don't know how much of them actually do their own fight sequences. So, Michael Shannon is in this. So, it's a little bit more of a grab bag in terms of that. But he's big enough that he's part of the reason why everybody's watching that Santa Claus movie, Killer Christmas or whatever it is, Killing Santa. I don't know what it's called. It's out in the theaters right now because he's producing it. David Leitch is becoming a name that when he attaches himself to a project it's starting to elevate the project, at least among film nerds who know who he is. His name is rising really fast, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't realize Bullet Train was his. It didn't feel like a film that would be his. But I'm not really sure it still is. I don't know. But I love the fact that he's branching out into more of like a comic action than just like a straight up revenge action. So there's that. But this film takes place with all of this mystery and intrigue, and there's a backstory as to how. I can't talk too much about it because there really is a huge chunk to this movie where you have to let it unfold, and that's part of how you are entertained by the film, is because there's more to the story. The simple story is assassins on a train full of assassins, and they're all there. There's a case, somebody wants it. There's like a boss on the outside who's trying to maneuver and get this case, and everybody's on this train. But why are they all on this train? And that's kind of the longer story. How did you get this many assassins on one train? And what's going to happen with it? So the film does kind of slowly drop you breadcrumbs that way. And eventually you do find out the totality of the film and the story and how it came to be, and, you know, all of those shenanigans. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it makes it more and more of a popcorn movie. It makes it, somehow it felt like I only needed to see this film once. And when I was done with it, I was like, do I want a sequel? And I was like, I don't think so. Um, and there are a couple reasons why. And I'm going to try to keep this as non-spoilery as humanly possible. So Brad Pitt is the lead of the film. They all have code names in this film, and I've already forgotten Brad Pitt's. But there are two other far more interesting characters who have such a lovely dynamic, um, who are not lead characters. And I thought Brad Pitt he was trying, he's doing his comedy thing, right? But Brad Pitt has never been like a deeply hilarious person, like a naturally hilarious person. He's been able to read comedy well and react to comedy. And in the right scenes, he does a really good job. You know, The Lost City proved that when Brad Pitt knows what the joke is, he can do wonders with it. But I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry stole the film. And that was what I was far more interested in, was the relationship between those two quote-unquote brother assassins. I thought their performances were just... I thought they lit up every scene. They were my favorite thing about the movie. But they're not the lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not the main group. But I would watch an entire film on them. I don't really want to see Brad Pitt again in this role. It's a very weird... It would be like if somebody came along and Keanu Reeves' John Wick franchise. It was more interesting than John Wick. And then you're like, oh, but I really want to see that guy again. That's how I felt. I felt like somehow David Leitch directed Brad Pitt well, but unfortunately he wrote well, and these two acted these roles well. That they ended up kind of stealing the whole damn thing. If we're being honest, I think for those maybe watching my review who have seen Bullet Train, probably you agree with me. I think that Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry are going to be the two performances that you remember out of this film for quite a while. I thought Brad Pitt was just fine, but the other two were hilarious. They actually had quite a bit to do. I would say that they're probably the number two spot in terms of character, in terms of who has like the most screen time, followed closely maybe by Joey King. There's a bunch of people in this. Zazie Beetz is in this, Bad Money, Masioka from Heroes. I know he's from other things, but he'll always be from Heroes for me. Yeah, there's a couple of people in this. There were two cameos that were listed that were totally lost on me. I didn't pick up on them in the film at all, which is weird, because I thought I would, because I thought I'd recognize those voices. So, but then when I saw the roles they were credited as, I was like, I guess it's possible that I just didn't notice them. But unfortunately, that's one of those things where they're like, oh, check out these cameos that we got. And I was looking at the names, I was looking at their roles, and I was like, when? Where? Did they speak? Did I miss that? I felt so confused. So I won't ruin it. because I also know that people who are sighted watch my channel. So, but yeah, I didn't pick up on those two rather large cameos, rather instantly recognizable people. They should have been instantly recognizable people that I'm big fans of, and I did not pick up on their cameos. I might watch Bullet Train again at some point just to see, just to really break it down, because there's a lot that happens in here. There's a lot of back and forth, and there's this really sort of convoluted story about the train and why everybody's there and what everybody's doing and what this package is, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's worth a second watch just to try to take it all in again. So I wouldn't be mad about watching it again. Um, but at the end of the day, my first impression about the film is that I think it's not as good as John Wick. So for David Leitch, I just don't think he made a film that was just as successful as his first film. Um, and I think he oddly made a film in which his lead character is not the most interesting person in the film. So, which could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But I really want to see a spinoff with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry's characters. I don't know how that would work, but I would totally love, you know, in a world where people get limited series spinoffs. I mean, they're making a John Wick spinoff based on that hotel. Who knows? Maybe those two actors would love to be in a spinoff together. That could show the other journeys they've been on, or how they became brothers. Or I don't know, but they were delightful, and they're the type of characters too that you can't really pick just one. Like, if I was gonna nominate for an award, I would feel like they have to share that award because they work so well off of each other. It's like a joint. It's like it's one performance. You know, I know it's two different actors, but you can't pick just one. It's the problem that I have every time I'm trying to go in and pick and nominate for best actor in a comedy. It's like, how do you not nominate Steve Martin and Martin Short at the same time? Like, how can you pick just one? How can you pick just one to win? You know, I felt the same way here. I'm just like, I don't know how you choose one over the other. They are so perfect together. They just bounce off of each other really well. They act like they've been doing this for years. You would think Aaron Taylor Johnson came off the set of Atlanta, like him and Brian Tyree Henry have just been having this back and forth for forever. It's a really fantastic performance, a set of performances that I loved. Two of my favorite performances of the year actually came out of this film. So I'll go that far and say every time they were on the screen, they made the movie better for me. So very delightful. But overall, the movie was like, okay. I was like, all right, fine, it's fine. I'm okay, I'm here. So audio description has a little bit of it's a tough ride. There's a lot happening on this film. There's a lot of action and a lot of crazy, and there's a lot of flashbacks and cuts, and the narrators work overtime on this film, definitely. I don't know how much it mattered that I didn't know who those cameos are within the context of the film. So, but I didn't pick up on it. So, anyway, but little things. I don't really have any major complaints about the audio description. This is one where I actually had to do some work. This is a film where somebody sat down and really had to write and think about, okay, what is it that we're doing here? Sometimes I look at a film and I'm like, this was really easy. This was like, you're playing t-ball here. No, this was the final game of the World Series. This is it. Bullet Train is definitely one of the more hard to describe films, even though it takes place mostly on a train. A lot happens. Reviewing this film without spoiling it is really hard, but a lot happens on the train. So, just kudos to the audio description team, whoever you are, whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you exist. Good job. Um, yeah, this film has excellent audio description, all things considered. So, I think it's time. I think I can put a grade on this one. If you like it, then you got to put a ring on it, right? I don't think my grade is going to be as high as maybe some people would have thought, but I actually thought I was going to like this a lot better too. But I was fine with it. I like it, but I don't love it. So I'm going to give Bullet Train a B. There you go. It's on Netflix. If you don't want to spend any extra money and you already have a Netflix subscription, you can watch it there. That's it for me today. I'm still trying to get to 100 this year. So if you like me well enough and you've stayed this long, please think about subscribing. I actually lost a subscriber. I hate when that happens. I want to get to a point where I have enough subscribers that I don't notice it. Where I'm just like, what was my number? When you're low in my range, you notice everybody. So I was very sad when I went from 90 to 89. I was like, no, I'm trying to get to 100, guys. Why would you do that to me? So if you could please click subscribe, that would be great. I have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can go to the Audio Description Project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org and look up your favorite films and narrators. And that's going to do it for me today. I'm coming out of COVID. I'm doing a pretty good job here. So I will review something else for you guys, and I will see you on the other side.